All right, we're live. What's good, Rye? How you feeling, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Ben? Nice to be here. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
most definitely, most definitely. So we are on the becomeachiro.com pre-Chiro podcast. I want to thank you for taking your time to join me today. You were really integral to getting me through the program. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you could just describe a little bit about where you're at these days, where you're practicing, and what's going on with you.
Okay, well, I went to Life West with you, and we graduated together, and was in 2012.
Yep.
Soon after, I came to Spain, and that's where I'm working now, in the south of Spain. I have two clinics over here. Things are going well, and here I am.
As well as they could be. I mean, we're in lockdown with the pandemic and everything. What's it really been like, though, adapting to kind of being restricted, not only from the mindset of the people that are in the community around you, thinking differently than you are, but also just being a chiropractor in Spain, where I don't think chiropractic is really regulated that well. So you have to really be careful with what you do and what you don't do, right?
Right. So first off, chiropractic in Spain, we're kind of in a interesting situation where we're not fully accepted. We want to become a primary healthcare practitioner just like we are in the United States, and we're not considered that here in Spain yet. They're fighting for it. We're going to get that soon, but we're not 100% there. As for the lockdown, we actually had a full lockdown over here where we were 2 months without working. From like March 13th it was until all the way until like May almost 13th. It was 2 months or maybe a little bit longer. So it was just 2 months staying in your house. They didn't let you leave unless you were going to go buy groceries and like few things. So it's pretty bad. And to have the practice close that time, really hurt. Not just economically in that, just the whole idea that we couldn't see patients and how many people are suffering from pain. And if they would have had us, if we were able to stay open, we could have saw a bunch of people that had different issues, and prevented them from going and clogging up the hospital. Because
Yep.
once we take the chiropractic out of the picture, if somebody's in pain or somebody has some problems, where are they going to go? To their doctor to get some medication or whatever they can to just survive this situation.
Yep.
So we could have really eased up the healthcare system here if they were to allowed us to work, but we weren't able to. So it was kind of tough, 2 months without working, and now things are kind of getting back to normal, but still there's a lot of fear. You kind of, my philosophy about what's going on is different from what the majority of people think. So you kind of have to kind of go with the flow. They make us wear masks in practice. You have to clean everything, just typical basic stuff. And we're kind of more under control. And like you said, because chiropractic is not fully 100% healthcare profession within Spain, we are a little bit limited. I would love to just jump out there like some of the other chiropractors we see on the social media and state our mind of how we feel about the situation, but we can't, because any medical doctor can may be able to see that they can sue us, and we can start to have some problems. So we kind of have to play it kind of low key under the radar, which is fine. I'm still able to serve my patients and do what I have to do to get people well. It's just an interesting time that we're in right now, and everybody's under stress. I think that's the fair way to put it.
Right. So the reason I brought you on to have this discussion is really because I'm trying to give insights to the prospective student of what that path to becoming a chiropractor is like. So we're going to really try and dive deep into what your transition process was like from whatever you were doing before chiropractic school and then choosing to become a chiropractor and enrolling. If you could really kind of jog your memory back to that day where you decided to become a chiropractor, and talk to me a little bit about what that process was like transitioning to becoming a chiropractic student. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. So I knew I wanted to be a chiropractor since I was maybe like 5, 6, 7 years old. It all happened. My dad fell off a ladder. He hurt his back. He went to a chiropractor. I would go with him and just watch and see what happened. And then he got better. And I thought, wow, you can use your hands to heal somebody. That's cool. And every time I'd go, this chiropractor, Dr. Linda Shanks in Sacramento, great chiropractor, my mentor, and she's the reason why I got into this. She would just, just give me a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of, the science of chiropractic each time I went. And then finally one day I'd go 7, 8 years old, and I asked if, she can crack me. That's what I wanted to be, cracked, because that I didn't understand. I was 8 years old, right?
Right.
So she adjusted me, and I was like, wow, this is the coolest, sensation ever. I really like this. And then, so it just kind of developed from there, and I would start going every once in a while just because I felt good and I liked it. And I have, some strong memories. Was when I first got my car at 15 and a half, almost 16 years old, I remember whenever I felt like I had a little bit of a cold or I just felt kind of bad, I would just go, and I would always feel better. And again, at that age, I still didn't fully understand what chiropractic was. I just know that, fixing I learned the word subluxation, putting those bones in place, and the body can heal and function like it should. That's the only message that I had, which I guess at the time was the only message I needed, because that's the most important message of what chiropractic is, right? So then, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And so once I graduated high school, I went to a junior college, Sacramento City, and I went straight to the counselor and was like, what do I need to do to get into chiropractic school? And they're like, oh, they pulled out some paper they had from like 1998 or something, like super old. Anyways, I went online, I figured it out. I ended up going to chiropractic school, and I went to Life West, and I became a chiropractor, and here I am today, and I wouldn't change anything. I think it's a privilege and a blessing to be a chiropractor, and then just to help. Every time you help some person, it's just like, if I could only just change one person's life, it was all worth it. But if I can change thousands of people's lives, it's just, you and I, we went to school together. I know you, you know me, you feel the same way. So, it's just one of those journeys that you do, and then there's no looking back. And you're just like, this is the best profession in the world. This is where I want to be. I want to help people. And it's just, you wake up and you feel good going to work. It's not even, you just go and you just have fun. You get people well, and you're just like, every day you're just happy and just feel off of that. So anyways.
Not as big facts. And I just want to say I'm right on the same page with you, brother. I would say it the same way you said it just now. That's why I love doing what I do, helping the people that I help. But you're really, throughout the years I've gotten to know you, you're really a people person. You do well communicating with others. And obviously, being a Caucasian, going to Spain, you put yourself into an environment where not only were you a chiropractor, but you were also, a white guy in another country. And, me and you both grew up, we went to City College, we did undergrad, maybe in a more diverse urban type of population. We hung around people of all different backgrounds. How would you attribute your experiences really just vibing with different types of people to your success of adapting to this environment that you chose to go to in Spain?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because, lately there's this whole thing going on, not just the United States, but the rest of the world as well, about inequality. There's the race things going on. There's the whole Black Lives Matter. There's all kind of different movements that are going on. And I think the overall message is that we're all the same, and that we all need to treat each other with respect. And, this whole, old idea of racism from our grandparents' era, that just needs to go away. It still exists today with even people our age, and it blows my mind. Being a chiropractor, just within the healthcare profession, we are kind of like, you could say maybe a minority, or we are discriminated against just because, we're not real doctors, or we don't prescribe medication, or we just crack backs, or chiropractic's not real, or we're just a quack, and all these other, BS stuff that people say. So from that perspective, you kind of feel what it's like to be discriminated against. So it kind of opens you up a little bit, and you can understand other people there, what's going on. Coming to Spain, then I'm a minority as well. My Spanish is, it's okay. But, as soon as I open my mouth, they know instantly that I'm not, right, a Spaniard. So that was another obstacle. In one way, it's like, who's this guy coming from, a different country? He doesn't even barely know Spanish. And what's he over here trying to tell me what I have to do with my health? And so the great thing about chiropractic is the results speak for themselves. So the best publicity any chiropractor could have would be word of mouth. You know, you get a patient better, and then they send you another patient, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just a chain reaction.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things about being in Spain. Is that there's a lot of word of mouth and people are still kind of open. I always compare Spain to what it was like in the United States maybe a generation before, where people really knew each other. You knew your neighbors. Now we don't know our neighbors. We're more distant. And you know, with the whole Corona thing that's going on, it makes things worse. But over here, they're still familiar with each other. They still say hi when you go by on the street. So it's more friendly situation.
Yeah.
And because of that, it really helps to generate patients without having to do a lot of publicity or anything. It's just, you know, if you get people better, more people are going to come. And, you know, another good thing about being in Spain is I feel like chiropractic is pure here. Pure in the sense that all I do is chiropractic. I don't have ultrasound or some electric stim. I don't do dry needling. We don't have massage tables or decompression. There's none of that. Part of it is that we're not allowed to do that in Spain, but even if I were, I wouldn't want to be doing that. I just want to adjust somebody. They come in, they get adjusted. The other thing is it's 100% cash based. So there is no insurance companies. There are no PI cases. There isn't, you know, you don't have to fight with somebody on the phone so you get paid and the insurance companies tell you some BS. No, you come in, you provide your service, you get paid, and that's the end of the story. Now, there are, you know, pros and cons to that. The pros is that it's a very relaxed, nice lifestyle. The other side is, you know, you will make more money in the United States, you know, if you play the insurance game, if you know how to do what you have to do. But then I always compare it to how much stress do you want in your life versus how much you want to make in that. So over here, you make less, but you're a little bit more relaxed. You have a different type of lifestyle. And you can see that by the type of people. Every chiropractor in Spain, they're a little bit more on the hippie side, more of like a laid back, relaxed. Whereas maybe in the United States, you see more people wearing a button-up shirt with a tie, and they're kind of more a different type of professional, you know, person. And over here, we're just, you know, real laid back. They got the siesta where you take a nap at midday, and it's just a really nice, different atmosphere. I can say that.
No doubt. I went out and visited you, and I could attest it was a really nice lifestyle, a little slower, a little bit more relaxed, more chill. But that's not to confuse the viewers by thinking that they can't make good money being in Spain, right? I mean, you make a pretty decent wage compared to the cost of living for people that live in Spain, right?
Yes. So considering what the cost of living is here, which is quite a bit lower, you can do really good. And there's clinics that are you know, seeing a lot of people. And you know, being a cash base, it's a very simple. The money's instant. You don't have to wait. It is nice. And again, at the end of the day, it's how much work do you want to put in. I'm working. I have 2 clinics, and I'm working between both of them. And then I try my best to, you know, on the weekend, just take it easy and disconnect and do fun things and enjoy. And everything is, you know, available because it's more cost effective over here. So I think it balances out, you know, just like if you were to go to any other country, if the cost of living is low, but you make less, if it balances out, you know, I mean, you're in California, you're in the Bay Area. I mean, how much is your house? How much is your rent? I mean, compare all of these things compared to what you're making, and I could do the same, and we can get an idea, and we're probably similar. So that's another interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, no doubt. When you think about what Barcelona Chiropractic College is doing in the Madrid school, do you see like a possibility that chiropractic can really reach a tipping point in Spain and become a little bit more of a cultural thing for them, or?
Yes, it's just a matter of time. The main issue we have in Spain is that we want to become part of the healthcare system. In Spain, they have a universal healthcare system where it's a free healthcare system where you can go to your medical doctor, you can go to the ER, and then it doesn't cost you anything. The taxpayers, we pay for that. And we want to get chiropractic involved with that as well. Because right now you can go to your medical doctor with low back pain, and then they can give you a 10-visit referral to a physical therapist. And we want the same thing where we can get a 10-visit referral to chiropractic. Think how many more people we can help with that. So that's the number one thing. They're fighting, politics is slow, and it's some hurdles.
What's the pushback? Are they concerned that chiropractors will begin to infringe on the messaging that people have in regards to what they should do to take care of their health, or are they more just anti-chiropractic? Like
Well, I think it's the same thing that happens in the United States. Back in the day, how the medical doctors wanted to eliminate the chiropractic profession, the whole Wilkes versus the AMA case. The same thing's happening here in Spain. That basically it's the physical therapy associations with the medical associations trying to prevent chiropractic from getting that full 100% legal healthcare profession, status. Simply because there's 40,000 physical therapists in Spain, and we're less than like 1,000 chiropractors in Spain. And so they just have numbers, they have money, they have power, and they want to control the monopoly. That's just the bottom line. However, when I talk to every single physical therapist in person, when I was working with different football teams, football clubs, or any other sports events, everybody's cool in person. It's just the big associations that attack us. I mean, I have a ton of medical doctors that come see me as patients, but they're kind of like, they come in, I was like, hey, why don't we make a video real quick and you tell everybody that, hey, you're a medical doctor, and you come. They're like, no, I can't do that because of, I'm afraid. So it's like, whatever, I don't care. I'm here to help you anyways, But there's still kind of that fear. It's kind of like chiropractic was like 50 years ago in the United States. There's still kind of a divide. We're working on it though. And the big step is that there is a chiropractic university in Barcelona and one in Madrid. And both of them are really good schools. I've been to both of them during seminars. One of them is bilingual. It's English and Spanish in Barcelona. The other one is all Spanish in Madrid. They both have good philosophy, both have good programs. They're 5-year programs over there. They do, they give you like a master's in chiropractic, or they call it a superior title. It has a Spanish.
So just to be clear, you can't be practicing chiropractic back in the United States if you go to a school out there. But that's a 5-year program right out of high school.
Yes, but their high school here is also different. It's almost like as if they're when they're 17 and 18, your last 2 years, like your 11th and 12th grade, is almost similar to like going to your first 2 years of college. They have a different system here. So they have that plus the 5 years. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard rumors from other chiropractors that even if you graduate from there, if you were to go to the United States, you could take the boards, and then they should, validate your title. But I'm not 100%. I don't know. We need to look up the facts. I heard when we were going to school that only graduated from a United States chiropractic accredited school would allow you to practice chiropractic in the United States. Okay. But I'm not 100% sure. I heard something that about that, but I can't let you know. But the schools are growing, and they've graduated quite a bit of people. I've heard rumors that they might open another school, but with this going on with the corona and everything is just kind of paralyzed right now. But yeah, there's 2 chiropractic schools. We're almost there to being 100% perfect. Just like in England, they have it in France now, in Belgium, and Germany. Like almost every other European country has chiropractic 100% legit. Spain.
When you say
Greece,
100%, you just mean like it's recognized as a
healthcare profession, right? So right now in Spain, we're basically the same as if you were a massage therapist or somebody who doesn't. So we're not fully recognized on that level.
Okay.
Which it's not affecting the practice, because when people come in, they learn what chiropractic is, they get better, and then they refer people to you. But we would like to we need to get the message out there, and people need to come. So.
No doubt. So just getting back to our prospective students, I know we're giving a lot of good insight and context for what it would be like to go and take a program out in Spain, and also what the lifestyle is like in Spain if you go to a school in the U.S. and decide you want to move to Europe. Thank you for all that insight. But Just like looking back at yourself as a chiropractic student, kind of know what you know now. I know that you're about to publish a book, but what are some things that you would be doing as a student, knowing what it takes to be successful in the real world and knowing kind of where you're at right now, what you find to be important? What kind of advice would you give to that chiropractic student?
If I were to go back and do the program again, I would open a special file on my computer and label it like gems or special knowledge. And I remember every single teacher, they would give you like one or two, like something very special that would stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, they're very important little things there. And I think those are very important because they drop these special knowledge that you don't learn otherwise. And there's a lot of it that I feel like I forgot because I didn't write down in that. I would also like to appreciate a little bit more the basic sciences. I feel like we might have rushed through that and didn't give it enough importance. I mean, people come in and they tell you their problems every day. And if you don't understand what diverticulitis is or what Crohn's disease is or multiple sclerosis, we need to know those things because those types of people come in. Now, we're not going to treat it per se in typical way. We're going to adjust them, allow the body to heal itself, right? But we need to understand what those are and not just, study for a test and get it over with and then you forget it the next day. Right. So I feel like I would have studied a different way and really appreciated some of almost the non-chiropractic stuff more than what I did. I went in and I was like, I just want to adjust and I just want to know chiropractic philosophy and I want to know some neurology and that's it. And I feel like I should also, I mean, it depends on, your faculty that you had at the time. And there's a lot of factors, right? But I really would have appreciated the entire program more if I had to go back and redo it again, for sure.
Okay, no doubt. And last question, you're right now in practice, 7 years, something like that. Where do you see like your professional path going? What are some goals that you have? What are some things that you've recently been working on in your present life?
Well, I have the 2 practices I'm managing. I want to continue doing that. I thought about opening a 3rd practice and getting other chiropractors in and start making it more of a poly type clinic thing. But then this whole Corona thing kind of shut that down. During the coronavirus, we were 2 months on lockdown. And I started to write. And I ended up writing a book. And now it's in the process of getting published. And it's almost done, but there's some political stuff that needs to get taken care of. And the writing a book gives you a nice perspective on what you want to learn. And I feel like I learned more about when I was writing than what I initially went into it. And the book is very simple. I just talk about the 2 types of nervous systems of, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And that the goal of the book is how can we stimulate more of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our healing nervous system, right? And, we talk about chiropractic and a few other things that go involved with that. And then when I started researching, I found out that every single chronic disease, every disease that you can imagine, has an imbalance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. And the imbalance is a hyperactive sympathetic nervous system and a weaker, lower parasympathetic system. So if we can figure out how to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, we can figure out how to heal the body and the body can thrive. So, I mean, the obvious first point is the chiropractic adjustment. That's your initial instantaneous shift from that high, hyperactive sympathetic to a healing parasympathetic state. Then we talk a little bit about exercise and diet and a few other things that we can use to maintain that parasympathetic balance that we're looking for, and then you can thrive. And once we understand a basic concept like that, we can apply it and be healthy. And the more I learned about it, the more I appreciate, the balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. a concept that we learned very early on in chiropractic school, and I feel like is often overlooked. And so anyways, I wrote a book about it. I'll be publishing it soon, and then we could do another chat, and I could talk a little bit more about that and show everybody what's going on. But yeah, I'm doing that. I'm working with some football clubs. I'm trying to get up to the first division team, a few first division teams, and just make it in that world. Again, it's more of who you know, not what you know type of scenario. So you have to make some contacts, and it's a little bit more difficult on that.
And
but there's not a lot of teams.
Just to be clear, in that context, you're adjusting athletes to improve their performance, prevent injury, but also help them recover faster if they have injured themselves while they're on the field, so they can get back in the game as fast as possible.
Exactly. You said it. Now, when you go in there, it's not like you go in there and then you're the chiropractor, you're the shit, and you're going to do. No, you go in there and you're like the least important guy in the team. And it doesn't bother me that, because I know that I'm providing the service that these players need. But you just kind of have to stay back. They got the medical doctor, they got the physical therapist, they're doing their thing. And I just, do some muscle checks and some basic things just to show the athlete of how they were before and how they are after. Mm-hmm. And to make the athlete realize the importance of what I'm doing with them. Because at the end, those are the guys that make the decisions. If they're like, no, I want to see Ryan, I want to get adjusted. Nobody can tell them otherwise, because they're the most important part of a team. So but that's the same thing as like I was saying before, you do a good job, you get results, and then people want you. So, I mean, if we want to talk to these prospective students, learn how to be a good chiropractor, learn how to deliver results. How do you do that? Figure out how to find the imbalances in the body, figure out these subluxations, adjust them, fix the problem, and let the body heal itself. It's basic stuff. We've been hearing it from the masters ever since, day one. It took me a while.
And to be clear, communicate it effectively so that people understand that you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. But not even that, because when I first came over here, my Spanish was pretty bad and I wasn't able to communicate the message. But when you adjust, it doesn't matter what language you're speaking, the body will adapt and figure that out. So that type of communication is important, is to see how powerful the adjustment can be. Even if you're not understanding one another, people will understand. But you have to be a good adjuster. You have to deliver, the most important thing that we do, and that's the adjustment. So that's where we need to train. We need to get in there. We need to do our best. So, but absolutely, once you start getting better, you definitely need to explain. But I think you need to understand what chiropractic is, and that's what a lot of our profession struggles with, is what is actually chiropractic. And over here in Europe, more so, you see a lot of people that are on the other side of the subluxation, what we call the evidence-based chiropractors, which I like to talk with them because I see how they see chiropractic from a different perspective. And instead of fighting and separating, we need to kind of find a common ground. At the end of the day, we both adjust, we both get people better. Whether you think subluxations exist or not, okay, we can have a discussion on that. But we still need to be on the same team and support each other. And there's a big divide in chiropractic right now about that, and it's kind of sad, but it is what it is, right?
I mean, that's the vision for this podcast. If we can get students that are prospective students learning similar things, having shared experiences, regardless of what school they go to, at least they have an awareness of what they've learned at the same time that students that are going to another school learn, we got to bring people on the same page to realize we got more similarities than differences. And it's just like previous generations never really had this ability to communicate with one another, So I think that there's a huge potential for chiropractic to really come together. Even if they have disagreements, they can come together around the idea of chiropractic being this hands-on profession where we focus on the spine and its connection to the brain, so that we can help people get better and live their best lives. But it starts right here. I just appreciate you giving good insight and context to these prospective students. I don't want to take up too much more of their time. I think there's a lot of value in this discussion. You feel me? And let's just keep it rocking. We'll do a different discussion at a different time. We'll get into details But for now, I just want students to really take in what Ryan was just talking about with work on becoming a better chiropractor now, today, especially if you haven't even gotten to chiropractic school yet, because you don't have all these classes weighing you down. You have time to really get into things and work on things, work on yourself. And any final comments to this prospective student that's watching you right now, Ryan?
No, I just simply, this is the best healthcare profession in the world. And if you're considering chiropractic, but you're not 100% sure, you will not make a wrong decision by choosing chiropractic. The impact you will have on the world is just, phenomenal. So yeah, good luck with that. Chiropractic school, it's not too bad. I mean, it's tough, but you get through it like we all did, and be a chiropractor and save the world. That's what we're here. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Ben. It was a pleasure. Anytime you want to chat, just let me know, and I'll be around.
No doubt. We're here for these students. Thank you for your time, Ryan. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thanks, Ben.
No doubt. Peace, man.